You are tuned into Wild Financial Stories with nokuhle. Please remember, the information, stories, and opinions presented in the Wild Financial Stories podcast are for informational and entertainment purposes only. The content provided is not intended to be and should not be construed as financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Wild Financial Stories. I have missed this segment. I feel like we haven't had a Wild Financial Stories video in a long time, but trust me, there have been stories I have been collecting and I cannot wait to tell you. Thank you so much for tuning in, to those of you who are coming back again, and to those of you who are new here. Welcome. My name is nokuhle, and I'm the host of this show. In this segment, we talk about financial stories that we've seen in the news, on TV, on radio, or even on social media. I find that these stories are not only entertaining, because I do love a good chuckle. However, they also help us identify some of the problems that we're all facing or may face, and help us to actually come up with solutions to avoid us falling for the same traps. I have a few stories lined up that I found interesting, ranging from car manufacturers that are leaving South Africa, or the talk that Ramaphosa had with Donald Trump, or even the guy at Live who was spending a lot of money just because people join their circle. So really do stick around, because I know you guys are going to enjoy these conversations. However, I always love seeing them on social, so continue to tag me when you're seeing something that you believe I need to see, or you can use the hashtag Wild Financial Stories, just to make sure that we keep the conversation going. And you guys will actually see half of the stuff that I'm talking about here I've already mentioned on socials. So just make sure you are searching hashtag Wild Financial Stories, and you'll see it live. You'll be able to see everything and hear everything verbatim, as opposed to having to take my word for it. All right, let's get into it. I am excited. Let's be honest, saving can feel like admin, but not anymore. Absa's latest innovation, Savings Coach, makes you feel like you're doing something fun for your future. You set your goal, whether it's a big dream like a car or your first solo getaway, and Absa's Savings Coach helps you build towards it without stress. It keeps you focused and lets you adjust on the go. It's personal, flexible, and actually works with your life. It's Absa's fun and new way to save, all on the Absa banking app. Set your goal, automate your savings contribution, and feel like a winner from day one. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Alright, so story number 1, Nissan potentially leaving South African car manufacturing industry. So there have been news that Nissan is planning on downsizing their operations worldwide. I think Nissan is struggling to keep up their revenue, or they're struggling to keep up with the car manufacturing industry. And as part of their strategy to cut costs, one of them is actually looking at leaving certain countries, which will obviously mean job losses. The countries that they're thinking of leaving are Argentina, Mexico, and South Africa. And this isn't a good one for us, because obviously we're already dealing with such high levels of unemployment, so this will only make things worse. However, the reason they're doing this is because they're actually struggling to keep up with the introduction of all these Chinese vehicles, I believe. So your Omotors, your Beijings, your Jacu's, and I've done a video on all of these where I've actually shown you guys the estimated monthly installments, how affordable it is, because it is affordable, but it's not like really affordable. It's not like cheap, okay? There's no such thing as a cheap car in South Africa. That's how expensive everything is. And I know Nissan aren't the only people who are feeling this, because we also had Volkswagen, which is actually a German company. However, they have operations in South Africa, including a plant where they build some of the cars here in South Africa and export it elsewhere. I guess we're like, a cheap place to work. But VW has called on the South African government to ask them for assistance to help them, try compete with these Chinese cars, because they're struggling. And while I feel for them, I also can't help but think that they have also been like giving us very overpriced cars, and having sky high profits all these years. So I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's okay that they're feeling shaken up, because we as the consumers are obviously going to now actually get a chance to get competitive competitive pricing. We can potentially get, nicer cars for, a little less, just because car prices recently have been ridiculous. I remember there were days where a Polo was a starter pack car. It was like a typical Namsing Yasebenza. I just got my first job. However, when I got into the market of buying Polos were not the car. Okay, they were expensive. People who were driving Polos were assumed to be earning slightly more than, other graduate employees. So they clearly also might have slightly lost the plot. So I love this competition because it's going to make them wake up. But also, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't feel for the people who are suffering, because VW is, hiring so many people from South Africa. So again, if they decide to withdraw their support, similarly to what Nissan is doing, we will feel this badly. It will impact real people. People might lose their jobs. But yeah, we'll see. I feel like VW shouldn't really get South Africa's assistance because it is still a German company. And the reason they're using us is because we're a cheap place to produce, and we've also got cheap labor. But now, China's obviously got even cheaper labor, and that's why they're being so competitive. But I think VW has to think a bit deeper, maybe have more strategic conversations of how they're actually, targeting people. They need to understand their clients because, yeah, like I said, Polo used to be like the entry-level car. Not anymore. Is that something they still want? Because if they know that they're pushing luxury, then they must relax. We've seen BMW and Mercedes pushing sky-high prices. They never drop their prices. They don't care whether the economy is bad or not. Their prices are their prices. And the thing is, people do buy. You will see a BMW on the road. You will see a Mercedes. We're all complaining about Cyril's economy, but people are driving nice cars. So, yeah. I think, VW and all these other brands who are not sure if they're in the luxury element or the affordable cars need to decide. You can't do both. Next story that I have here is about the guys who spent a lot of money at a nightclub. I think it's called Live. And they were spending on some girls that they were trying to impress. And the girls were ordering champagne and one bottle after the other. Apparently it ended up being 8 bottles. And the guys kept looking at each other like, oh my word, like, did you see? They just ordered another bottle. Oh my word, how are we going to pay for this? I will actually leave links to these in my description box because I want you guys to see every single thing. There was a guy who came on TikTok and he did like a story time. I think it was 3 parts. It's not too long, I promise. You can watch it. You actually might even enjoy it. But he was just talking about how, one of his friends hit on a lady who was with other girls, and then he invited the girl and her friends to join their section. If you go to the club, this is the general culture. Okay, that's kind of what is done, right? And then when the girls got there, they started ordering bottles. So the guys asked them, what do you guys drink? And people are like, that's problem number 1. You shouldn't have asked them what they want to drink. You should have told them, we're buying you this. Or you should have seen what they were drinking and then just bought them the same thing. Because people were saying that girls will drink expensive drinks when they know that they're not the ones paying. And I think people do this. Even like when people are going out for lunch, people order things and they know they're not paying, rather. As long as someone else is paying, no one cares. But anyways, what happened was, okay, obviously these people were ordering. And then when they got the bill was obviously a bit scary. And this guy basically said, clubbing at Live or all these high-end nightclubs is not for people who have 9 to 5s.
I think in jail I'm gonna like this. You see, Sandton after 11, it's not for brutes with pay slips, dog. You can't, dog. We can't, dog. When you pay sleep, 11, we can't, dog.
Those places are for your tender boys, your tenderpreneurs and your business owners, because usually when you're an entrepreneur, the assumption is that you have a lot of money, you have a lot of cash flow. And I have things I want to say about this. And as someone who obviously has had a hand in corporate life, 9 to 5, which is not really a 9 to 5. I hate that as South Africans we call it 9 to 5. It's literally an 8 to 5 for us. But anyways, because I have a hand in corporate and I have a hand in entrepreneurship or being in business, I know the two, and I can definitely tell you that the cash does flow a lot quicker and a lot bigger in business. However, it's also not very consistent. It's not consistent. Some days you're rich, Other days it's like, let's see how much I can stretch my budget for. Okay, so it requires you to have really good cash flow management skills. Whereas someone who's got a salary, it might not seem like a lot, but it's because it's consistent. But you can definitely do a lot if you are intentional about it. Like if you're putting it away, if you're telling yourself, okay, even when I get a promotion, I'm not now going to inflate my lifestyle. There are pros and cons to either or. But yeah, I found that super funny, and people also bring up their own stories, and I know people who have also like called me in a bind and said, listen, stuff is going down, save me, I promise I'll pay back. Don't do it, but shame. With me it also depends. If someone is borrowing money, it depends. Do we have that relationship? Do I know that you're going to pay me back? Because I don't like people who don't pay me back, and that's why I don't borrow people money, because I feel like money causes problems. And if I want to give someone money, it's usually money that I don't mind not seeing. Not to say that I don't want to see it. So if you owe me money, pay me back if you owe me money, but like I don't hold it against them, because I don't like holding grudges over money. Next thing you're saying ngikhulumela imali, even though I should, because it is my money. But yeah, I just feel like money complicates things, but if you know someone and you know their skills and you know that they keep their word, yeah, definitely. But also I like borrowing people who I know don't keep their word, because I know that's my ticket out. Because if you've borrowed 2,000 rand from me, then you didn't pay it back, I know there's no way you're ever going to ask me for more money, because how are you asking me for money when you still owe me from the previous round? So yeah, sometimes people open that hole for themselves. So yeah, but anyways, be careful when you're going out, be careful. And yeah, I won't say much. Tell me what you guys think in the comments.
You are tuned into Wild Financial Stories with Nokuhle.
Next story, I want to talk about the cost of weddings, because as some of you may know, I am a 2025 bride. I am in the process of getting married, and it's an exciting time. Two families coming together, me with my forever love are finally official. And I mean, okay, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I love my fiance, love him so much. But the cost of weddings, excuse me, what? No. Someone needs to do something. This is not cute. And I've always had like a bit of a fairy tale type of dream. Like I kind of knew the type of wedding I wanted. I knew the type of house I'm a big planner, right? I'm a big planner, but the one thing I don't plan for is money. And that's why maybe I'm so passionate about money, because I don't really put like a price tag to my goals. So when I say, one day I want to live here, I don't actually go and find how much it costs on Property 24 today. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should put money on my goals. I really should. But when it came to weddings, I didn't have a clue how much weddings cost until I was part of planning. So I just want to say, okay, on camera, to every person who has gotten married and not invited me, that I was secretly angry with, I want to let you know that I am so, so sorry. I completely understand. I don't even want to say you are forgiven, because you shouldn't have even needed to be forgiven in the first place, because it is your wedding. You literally choose your own, guests. But I am so sorry for even feeling like I was owed an invitation, because what? Like, guys, basically, just be comfortable spending 1,000 rand per guest. If you're having 200 people, you're going to spend 200,000. And this is me just talking about umembeso, like the traditional wedding, because I just decided that white wedding, no, I don't need it. I love fairy tales. The sun just went down. I love fairy tales, but I love money more. And I can't imagine draining so much of my money just because I want. No. And also the thing I do like about current traditional weddings is that they're so fancy. They've got all the sparkles. It's like a nice mixture. It's a nice modernization of our culture. And I think our generation is doing really well with this. Like, we are really saying we don't really care about this. Just give me this, and we're tapping into our cultures, and I'm really proud of us. But I also do want to say that it's probably because of money. Okay, first I thought we were just becoming, very pan-African and all of that, but no, it's the money. It's expensive. It is so expensive. So yeah, I'm having a traditional wedding, which is the only wedding. Need to send out my save the dates. But weddings are expensive, and someone needs to do something. They need to get regulated or something. But if they don't, I'm going to go into that business so that I can also make money, because I really feel like people are making money. But also, I'm just telling you guys this just in case you guys are not going through yet, so that you can forgive your friends in advance. If you didn't get invited to a wedding, don't be angry at them. They probably did want you there, but it probably just didn't make financial sense. Also, another thing that I've been telling some of my guests, because I'm still in the process of sending out save the date. So if you haven't received one, don't worry, it is still coming. But also maybe it isn't, but don't ask me, don't put me in that tight corner, because I really am such a recovering people pleaser. So I might end up inviting you even though I didn't really mean to invite you. So that's just awkward, okay? But what I wanted to say is, I have been telling some of my friends who are living abroad, Uguti, I don't think you should come. And I don't mean that in a way of not inviting them, but I'm just saying I don't think it's worth it. I wouldn't fly across the the country, or the world rather. I wouldn't fly across the world just to come to my wedding, and it's my wedding. So I don't see why you need to. Rather send the money. The money you are thinking of spending, send it to me. It'll mean a lot more to me than seeing you for 2 seconds in a tent that's full of people who are trying to remind me who they are, trying to justify why they're in the tent, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyways, I think I've spoken too much about this. Let's move on to story number, is it 4? Hey, I don't know, but the next story, and probably the biggest story, but I didn't want to open with it because it's not that type of channel. It's the story of Donald Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa's meeting at the Oval, Washington, D.C. I have a lot of thoughts about that, and I have struggled to, put my thoughts in a nicely packaged manner. I felt offended. I felt really offended, and I also felt cringy. I felt like it was cringy. I felt like I was watching old people beg. They were begging him so much. They were begging Donald Trump so much, and they kept calling him sir, and I know it's respect, and I know that sometimes diplomatic people speak in certain ways, but the way they referred to him as sir, and he never referred to anyone back as sir, made it feel like he was the boss of everyone. It made it feel like it was a principal and school children, or a principal and teachers, and I didn't like that, because Cyril is our president. He's our Donald, okay? When he was in that room, I wanted him to be an equal to Donald, not for him to kind of be begging. And I feel like even the manner that whole meeting unfolded, and guys, I didn't catch it live. I was actually listening to a podcast, and the commentary that was coming out, it was a news current affairs podcast, and the commentary that was coming out, I was like, oh my God, actually, I feel like I don't want to listen to comments. I want to listen to the actual thing that happened. So I went and found the interview. I'll leave a link in the description box just in case you also want to hear the whole thing. It's not too long. It's an hour. It's an hour and 5 minutes. And if anything, I was hoping it should be more. When they wrapped it up and they're they're going to lunch, I was like, take us to lunch. I want to hear. We are not done here. But long story short, Cyril was invited to come to the Oval. Actually, he wasn't invited. He asked if he could go to the Oval to speak to Donald Trump, because he wanted to address some of the rumors that there is a genocide in South Africa, okay? Remember, there's this whole thing of, Afrikaans people getting refugee status in America, blah, blah, blah. If you haven't kept up with that, do read up about it. I think we had the first group leaving, 49 people. And there's been a lot in the media, there's been a lot on socials, on X, Twitter, Elon Musk, of him, saying that there is a genocide in South Africa. Let me just say, I don't believe there isn't. And I'm saying this because I feel like no one is actually saying that out with their mouth. No one is wording it like that. We're all kind of beating around the bush, but I feel like it's just crime, and that's what they were trying to do. That's what Ramaphosa tried to do. That's what his team was trying to convey. And shame, they did a good job or Rupeti, the lady, I can't remember the lady's name. Oh, she spoke so well. And also there was John Steenhuisen. He also spoke well. Oh, the lady was from Kosatu. Forgot what her name is. Oh my word. And now it's going to bother me that I forgot her name. And she was like one of the few women who was there. So let me just find her name.
12 seconds later.
Okay, found it. And Zingiswa Losi, okay? She's, I think, head of Kosatu. Zingiswa Losi spoke so well. Rupert spoke well. And also Steenhuisen also spoke well. You know, like, everyone tried. And I like the united front that we presented because we are united. I feel like South Africa is just that family of siblings who fight. But in general, we love each other. We just fight because it keeps things interesting. No one, like, it's so boring having a family where you guys are always good. You guys are always getting along. And I say this because I have 3 brothers. And literally, we will have many fights. But trust me, the love is always there. And when you pick on one of my siblings, I will forget whatever little fight we had and protect my sibling, okay? And that's what I think South Africa tried to do. We had our own little bickers, DA versus ANC versus what. But when we went to the Oval, we were South Africans. But Trump's invitation, or rather acceptance of the meeting, was not a sincere one. And that's why he threw so many underhanded comments about Cyril. Like, oh my gosh. But I actually don't want to even talk too much about it. But I just want to say, do listen to a podcast, yeah, Sizwe Walsh and Bofu. Oh, he summed me up so perfectly. I'm a fan. I am a fan, and if you guys go there, you can even tell them that, you know, you're coming from nokuhle's thing, so maybe one day we can have a conversation, because I am completely a fan. I have never felt so summed up in such a succinct manner. Like, he spoke so well. His conversation was clean, but also you can tell that he's a political analyst, or he's got a history in it, because his statements were, he said the statement, he supported it, and then he wrapped it up well. And I was like, well, I was in awe. I literally made my fiance listen to it. I was like, oh my word, this is so yeah. But okay, now that I'm done with my rant, I just want to say, I cannot believe the amount of power we have given Donald Trump. I really cannot believe it. And the reason I'm saying this is because a few days after, the rand against the US has dropped. Like, the rand is back in the 17 rand range. We were on 19 rand the other time, like a month and a half ago. We were on 19 rand. It was so expensive transacting in dollars, or even earning in dollars. Some of the money that I earn is in dollars, and I was getting like a lot compared to usual because the rand was so high. Obviously, I know some of my payments are going to be like understated, oh no, but I am South African before I am a finance person. I'm South African before I look at the money in my bank account. And if my country is winning, I am winning also in general. But I also just want to say that I wasn't happy with the way that the thing unfolded. Yes, I'm really proud of the team that was there. I'm really proud of their composure. But I feel like we shouldn't have had to do that. We literally shouldn't have had to do that. And I feel like the reason Cyril had to go and do damage control is because Elon was, you know, in the ear of Donald Trump. And because Elon is South African, he's kind of viewed as like our mouthpiece. He's our mouthpiece now in America. And we are frustrated. The other day, even Twitter was like not really loading well. It was having issues. We couldn't access comments. And people were like, oh no, our brother is literally, you know, making the app glitch just so that we get Starlink. And yeah, I hate it. I hate that we're even entertaining the idea of getting Starlink and potentially having like a loophole in our constitution, which took so many years to build, and now we're trying to find loopholes just because we're trying to entertain Elon and Donald so that they can stop spreading fake news. I really, really don't like it. Like, it actually makes me sad. But we've only got 3.5 years of Donald Trump. I think South Africa can ride out the wave. I think we'll be fine. We just need to hold down the fort. And also South Africa needs to really realize that we have so much. And I said this when I came back. So context, for those who don't know, I worked a bit in the United States of America. I worked in Philadelphia, and then I also worked in the New York office of my audit firm, and it was nice. Like, it was nice. It was a nice paid holiday. The money was good, and it was nice. But when I decided to come back, my family's like, oh my word, why wouldn't you stay forever? Why wouldn't you stay there? And I literally had a job offer. They were stunned. They loved me. And that's the thing. South African people are super smart. But I just couldn't see myself living there long term. I wasn't interested. It just wasn't what I wanted. And for other people, the dream is to go to America. The dream is to live in America and succeed in America. But as someone who comes from South Africa, I know what we have. I know what we are doing and are capable of doing, and we can do so much more. So I wanted to come back and be part of that. I want to be part of the leaders who are helping to shape South Africa. And that's exactly why I'm back, and that's exactly why I'm doing this, and that's exactly why I'm telling you what's happening, because we need to be aware. Okay, this is our country. Wow. And I almost went into politics. Until UCT politics had me by the chokehold. Then I realized, let me just focus on my grind of becoming a chartered accountant, okay? Politics has too many stories. There's too many ndabas, too much drama, and the money's not even that great. So, let me just focus on my money rather, and that's why I did accounting. But you never know. Maybe you'll see me in Parliament one of these days. Maybe I'll be your Minister of Finance. No. I entertained it for 2 seconds, but no. I don't know. Do I want it? Nah. I actually don't think I want it. Now that I'm older, nah. I feel like I can make a lot more money and a lot more impact via Lomaku. And Lomaku is my company. And whilst I'm here, guys, I do want to say that I am currently hosting customer interviews on Lomaku. We are trying to build a platform, service, or products where we can actually help people understand money, understand concepts, talk about their money and their relationship and all that. But there's a lot that we don't know, and I don't want to create a product or service based off of my own biases and my own experiences with money. And that's why I'm inviting you to hop on, have a short call with me. Well, my 20 minutes, depending on how much you talk. I love to talk, so we could even do an hour, but I promise I won't. But hop on a call, book a call with us. Just, tell us a story. I've got questions I'm going to ask you, so you don't need to prepare anything. There's nothing that you're going to pay. It's completely for free because I just want to hear your story. I will not be giving any consultative advice. I will not be saying anything back. I'll obviously comment because it's a story you're telling me, but I will not be providing any insights or any feedback. So if you are looking for this, if you are looking for someone who can help you with your specific life, I am not the person to do that yet. However, if you are willing to share your story with us, just tell us, what you're struggling with, or what you're really good with, or what you heard that really helped you and made a difference. Let us know. I'm going to leave the links in my description box just so you can book that call with me. And I can't wait to meet you guys. I am hoping to interview 100 people. That is the goal. Okay, 100 people really does make the difference. So please help me out. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the flip side. And if you're in Cape Town, let me know, because maybe we don't have to do a virtual call. We could potentially go and have some coffee, okay? It'll be on me, of course. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you have enjoyed Wild Financial Stories. My name is Nokuhle, and this has been episode I don't know. All I know is I love it. I love you guys, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, I don't love you guys because I don't know you guys like that. I don't want to lie. See, I'm not a liar. I don't want to lie. I like you guys, okay? I like you as my community. I love my family, and I love my fiance, and I love my future kids. But I like the community, and that's true. Okay. But I do love people on Instagram. I do love people who follow me on Instagram because those are my bosoms. So if you want me to love you, follow me on Instagram, and I'll check you guys later. Bye-bye. I talk too much. I told you guys.
You are tuned into Wild Financial Stories with Nokuhle.